My brother, Nova, was excitedly going to a midnight premiere with his friend Sam. Both of the guys were young and eager. Basically the most pumped two teen boys can be because it was a movie showing at midnight for Man of Steel. They had arranged for Nova's darling older sister, please Nope, to pick them up during her lunch, graveyard life at the time, once the movie was over. The evening started pretty harmless. Tons of people, a couple of familiar faces who waved down because it was a small town. Out of nowhere, this older guy, think late 20s, to younger teens that's an older guy, and a girl closer to their age approached them. They were sort of dressed like everyone in middle school used to dress, Hot Topic drapery and the like. Still, they were very friendly, and due to the high energy level nerd gatherings create, Nova and Sam weren't in the least bit alarmed. Quickly, Man did start to act a little bit odd, with questions that wouldn't necessarily be deemed as creepy if asked in another way. For example, Man asked Nova, "So, you two young boys are here by yourselves? Guys like you two don't have girlfriends?" Nova and Sam exchanged looks and decided to lie. They said yes, they had girlfriends. They just weren't there right now. They even got a mutual friend to pretend to be one of the girls. But she actually had to sneak off and be with her actual boyfriend. Man tried to fix the question by adding, "Oh, that's a shame. See, my sister here thinks you guys are really cute. And so do I." Then Man laughed in a flirty way. Now, Nova and Sam were really shocked. Sure, this guy had already heard they were straight, but it straight up felt predatory since he was significantly older than them. He asked more questions, delighted to find out they were still in high school. Nova was trying really hard to disclose nothing, but Sam was a bit more naive and told one too many details for Nova to be comfortable at all. They were saved right then, though. The scramble to find good seats began and they ran for one of the theatres. That's how it used to work in our old town. Buy a ticket. Sparta! Save seats with jackets. Nova and Sam were relieved when they did find seats and quickly joked off what happened. By the time the previews were starting, they had calmed down and decided that the creepy man and sister were just messing with them for their own enjoyment. To their dismay, Man and sister actually found them and sat right next to Nova. Man made a casual joke about how the two boys had ran, and he was glad to find them. At this point, the boys were unsure what to do. Nova had never had something like this happen, and he really wanted to see the movie. The movie starts. Man starts whispering things to them. Nova is a little shocked as they were overtly sexual comments. Nova gives Man a pursed lip expression and leans towards the movie to ignore Man further. Man then decides to tap Nova on the leg and says he wants to show Nova and Sam something, trying not to disturb everyone else and stop this insistent man the boys look. Man had pulled up on his phone a very graphic gay pornography video. Man starts laughing hysterically, and sister is also smiling to herself. Nova and Sam don't know what to do. They can't run, please Nope was their only ride, and they paid good money for this damn premiere. Nova tells the man to stop with the shit, that there were kids there, and this was complete harassment. Eventually the movie finished, and the boys bolted it out of there. I, please Nope, was sitting in the parking lot, right in front of the doors. They jumped in my car all out of breath and shouted, "Go! Go! Drive!" We gunned it out of the parking lot and the boys were looking all around them. They refused to tell me what happened until I have them back home. Words cannot describe how furious I was. I wanted to turn around, fold those people up in 5 ways, and leave them for a cat toy. In the end, nothing came of it. My brother Nova did say that the bizarre experience was in a way really educational, that he couldn't imagine being a girl and feeling that type of sexual harassment all the time. Both of the boys decided that from then on out, they would always take their dates to midnight movie showings. Little background information. Our friend group is a bunch of guys who like to hang out outside, both because most of us still live with their parents, and they don't approve of smoking herb, and because we like to be outside in general. There's a town we usually hang out since it lies pretty central for all of us, and we have quite a couple of hangout spots there. One of those spots was a tunnel under the railway. We usually had no trouble. I mean, the police never told us to move. We met some people even, and did our best not to make people walking by feel uncomfortable. Here's also where we've had our encounters with this dude. We were hanging out, listening to some music and smoking a joint. We see a guy approaching us, but don't think any of it. People passed us by all the time. He walked past us and just said hi at first, so we all greeted him back. Then he walked past me. I was last in line and suddenly stops. "Hey man, do you sell weed?" he asks. Me, the sarcastic guy I am, answers with, "Nah, we don't sell it, we just buy it." He says, "Oh," and then appears to be going on his merry way. Suddenly, he stops again, turns around and shouts, "Hey, what the fuck is your problem, man? The fuck? Look at you. You're so tough standing with 5 of you. You're throwing your fucking life away. Fuck you, man." I was holding my arms in my coat since it was cold, but I quickly slid them back in my sleeves. This better not come to a brawl, I thought. "Just walk away, dude," I tell him. "Then we'll have no problem." "What?" he shouts. "I'ma stab you, bro." I looked at him. He wasn't very tall and quite skinny. I'm quite muscular, so I didn't feel very threatened. But I was wondering if he had a knife or not. "Just walk away, dude," I tell him again. He told us "fuck you" again, turned around and walked away. We were all standing there like, what the fuck just happened? We just stood there for 1 more hour, and then left too. That was the first meeting. I wasn't there the second time the guys saw him. This time 2 of my friends were hanging out at the same location as the first time. 2 guys approached them. "Hey, look who the cat dragged back from the dead." It's him again. And he's brought a friend this time. Same question again. "Hey, do you sell weed?" They just looked at them and said, "No, we're out of weed." "You're lying," he says. "Give us your weed and your money." Cool. So now they're attempting a robbery. He suddenly opened his jacket and put his hand in his coat. "I have a knife, man," he says. "I'ma stab you, bro." He walked up to my first friend, got right up to his face, and shocked him by quickly moving towards him. My friend jumped. My other friend was standing there very nervous, but was enraged by his act towards our friend. The other guy was also like, "Yeah, give us your weed and your money, man." "I'ma stab you, bro," walked up to my second friend and flashed him the same way. My second friend didn't flinch, however. He just stared him down. If you don't want anything really bad to happen, you better walk. "I'ma stab you, bro," looked at him. His buddy suddenly stepped back and said, "They have nothing, dude, let's go." "Fuck you and your sprinkle sandwich, dude. I'm leaving." Now he realized that it was 2 on 1. Suddenly, he stepped back too. "Fuck you, man," he said. "I'll get you." We never saw him again after that. It's become a joke to mimic him in the way he said, "I'ma stab you, bro." But still, this guy needs to be arrested. Or at least be taught a lesson. Verbally, of course. We're not the guys to start brawling immediately. If that is not an option, well, then let's not meet again. So I was home alone at the time of this story. My dad was a lawyer and was staying at his office late, studying for a case the next morning, while my mom was staying over at the hospital, staying with my aunt, who was going into labor. I loved being home alone because I can play my music as loudly as I want, and can eat as much as I want. It was around 7:30 and I was watching TV while eating out of a jar of Nutella. I was in the middle of watching a movie when I thought I heard footsteps outside. This doesn't alarm me because I live in New York City, the city that never sleeps. I practically fell asleep listening to people talking and cars passing. I keep on watching my movie, and it ends around 9. I then decided it would be perfect to play music and have an unwind time. I played music off of my playlist and started lying down on the couch, scrolling through my social media feed. Then I heard a heavier footstep, sounding like it was inches away from the front door. I was thinking maybe my dad came home early, which was odd because my dad always stays until at least 10 when he has a case the following day. My door doesn't have a peephole. We just have windows right next to the door. I moved the curtain a tiny bit to see someone in my front yard staring at my house. The curtain was only moved a slight bit, so I couldn't really see who it was, just a figure. I was seriously unnerved and was afraid if I moved the curtain any more, this person would notice. I walked back and called my dad. My dad has always been a calm person and just tells me New York is filled with all types of people. My dad tells me to give it 15 minutes, and if he isn't gone then, to just call him back. I then decided to move upstairs, because I wasn't comfortable still being downstairs. I go into my room and shut the door and locking it. Locking doors has always been a habit of mine. The habit gets on my dad's nerves, but my mom tells me it's good I have a sense of security. I crash on my bed and continue playing music and messing around on my phone. I then heard my front door lock trying to open. I freak out at this point and call 911. The operator tells me to stay on the line with him until the cops get there. I was locking my windows in my room as the balcony was right next to my window. Then this next part still sends chills down my spine. My door handle then starts to shake violently. Not the slight open type of way, I mean the shake almost broke the door down type of way. Then my door bangs over and over. I have a baseball bat in my room in case a situation like this ever occurred. I grab the bat and open my window, on the verge of leaping over to the balcony. I try to stay silent and not scream as the operator on the phone repeatedly asks me what's going on. Then a knife goes through and starts cutting down the door. I wasn't going to stay around to find out who's on the other side. I leap from my window over to the balcony and almost fall 2 stories with my hands clutching onto the bars, dropping the bat in the process. I pull myself up, surprised I made it over and I still managed to have the phone in my hand. I immediately go into the door that leads into my parents' bedroom and lock the bedroom door. I can hear in the walls that the person made it into my room. Tears are falling down my face at this point, and the operator tells me the cops are 1 to 2 minutes away. I then lock myself in the master bedroom, breaking the mirror and taking the biggest shard of glass. After about 10 minutes I hear the cops pull in the driveway, and the person run all throughout the house, looking for an exit. I inform the cops about the whole situation. When I finish explaining, I run and hug my dad. The officer then asks to speak with my dad. My dad informs me they caught the man who broke in. The man was a serial killer who liked to stalk young girls. He was wearing a raincoat, and in his coat was duct tape, knife, rope, and a video camera. What still creeps me out was, how did he know I was home alone? Today my dad doesn't stay late anymore and studies as soon as he gets the case information, and my mom making sure I go with her if she's going somewhere at night. So when you're home alone, make sure you're really alone. So to that serial killer who tried to make me the next victim, let's not meet. Hey everyone, it's Hellfreezer again. You know, I keep telling myself I'm going to take a few days off and enjoy the holiday period. But for some reason I just can't stop recording these damn things. Ah well, what the hell. One more video to close out the year with. So thanks very much for listening, and I hope you all have a very nice new year.